Hi, my name is Fearghal Youell. I'm a storyboard artist, an animator, and while I wouldn't officially consider myself this, I'm also a bit of a character designer in the same way that anyone who likes to draw has likely made their own characters. I'm sure a lot of you watching this video are plenty into drawing and have probably drawn your own characters yourself. So in these three videos, I'll be teaching you three important stages in making an animation, starting with character design and how to make unique and interesting characters. And there's a lot to cover in a few minutes, so I'll just get straight to the point. Now, when making a unique and interesting character, there's generally three important things to keep in mind, and that is their shapes, their colors, and their details. So the first thing you'll want to think about when designing your character is their shape, both the overall shape and the smaller literal shapes they may be made out of. Because we don't normally think about this or really notice it, but shapes all mean something to us. And the examples I have here are the three basic shapes: circles, squares, and triangles. So circles, for example, you're probably familiar with, round characters and how nice they look, how approachable. We associate roundness with, like, softness, cuddliness. So a round character, they're generally not going to be dangerous. They're going to be very nice. That's why a lot of kid shows have very round characters. Square characters, they're generally associated with strength, but they can also stand for reliability or stubbornness. Boxy characters, you look at them and you're like, that's a strong person, whether that's like someone I can trust in or someone I should be afraid of. Triangular characters, officially, they're associated with qualities like cunning or being dynamic or aggressive, as I have listed here. I generally don't actually think about that. I generally just think of triangles as being cool, like a character with spiky hair. That's a cool looking character. A character with a pointy chin, cool. And so yeah, those are the basic shapes you can have a character look like. But you can also combine shapes if you want to. If you want to combine those traits, like a lot of, say, dad characters combine both circles and squares because, the traditional big, strong, happy dad type character is, round for approachability and square for strength and protectivity. So similar to shapes, colors are something that generally means something deep in our minds, even if we don't notice it or really think about it. When we see certain colors, we associate them with certain traits. A popular example is red, which is a frequently used color. We generally associate that with things like passion and anger because it makes us think of people who get red in the face, whether it's out of anger, whether it's out of just being like embarrassed or super happy. Strong emotions, that's generally associated with red. Or another example, green. Green, we generally think of nature because it makes us think of plants, or maybe greed because it's related with money. But also, like, a green-skinned character will generally look sickly or weak or evil because it's not really like a natural skin color. And there's plenty of examples. You can see them listed here. Another very like easy to identify one is black, which we associate with darkness. So it's generally, when you see a character dressed all in black, they generally come across as mysterious or evil because of that association with darkness. If you want to, like, you can look up color associations, or you can just pause the video to see like what all these colors represent here. But that's why colors can be very important in your character design. So the last aspect of character design after shapes and colors is their details. And I don't really know how to describe details other than just the other things that are on the character. What they're wearing, what they've got on their face, what like type of hair they have, all that kind of stuff. So these examples I have here, these are character designs I made through a little exercise I do if I'm in need of a quick character design. And this is something you can also do if you want like ideas for characters you can draw, which is to go to a random word generator. So just type into like a search engine random word generator, Rator. I may have misspelt that. Oh no, I did. But yeah, and it'll do exactly what you tell it to. It's to generate random words. I usually go for 3 words, but yeah, set 3 words, random generate, and you'll get 3 words you can make a character out of. But sometimes, you'll get words like it could be hard to, or at least without getting creative. How do you make a character out of cope and to? That could be hard. So a way to make it easier if you want to is just set it to adjectives, because that's, words for describing things. So excited, grandiose, incandescent, I got here. Boom! You can make an excitable character who's also like grandiose, very fancy and such. So yeah, just go to random word generator, get 3 random words. And that's what I did here. And so for all these characters, I had to think about how to make characters out of these random words. This guy here, button world trouser. I made a guy who lived in a button world, so he's a button man. So that comes with an automatic round head for approachability. And with these types of characters, when you're like making sort of human-esque characters out of objects, sometimes you gotta get creative with what you make them out of. So I was like, what if his face was made out of the string, and also his arms? As you can see here, they're all like made out of string. Trouser, that gave an automatic, like, distinctive character trait, which is giving this guy big trousers. A lot of characters have, like, big trousers, or just a big, you know, article of clothing in general to make them look simple, but make them look distinctive. So, like, big trousers, they can, like, make you look like a worker or adventurous or something. So I'm thinking this guy is like a carpenter or something. That's how I designed him. Now, this one here was interesting. I got hang, coerce, and repeat. So coerce means to, like, convince something of someone. So it was like coerce and repeat, someone who convinces a lot of people to do stuff, who, you know, manipulates people. And hang, spider, that's a thing that hangs. So I made like a manipulative spider, maybe someone who like hangs around in the woods, and like travelers that come across him and he convinces them to, like, I don't know, do wood crimes. He manipulates people. So naturally I have like a lot of triangles to give the sense of a manipulative character. But, you know, spiders can be scary, but I want this guy to look like someone that someone would trust. So I gave him, as you can see here, circular eyes, like more trustworthy eyes, and I made them a light blue to make them like eyes you can trust. And I also gave him like a pretty looking pattern, just to give the idea that people were like, oh, this spider looks pretty cool, but it's like evil or something. Now this one, a very easy word here, boy. That's just a freebie with making a character. But I also had endure and tender, and that was interesting. So endure means to go like through hard times. So it's like, okay, a boy going through hard times. So I made him look all rough and stuff. And tender, you know, it can mean like weak, but it could also mean nice. So like this is a, you know, there's a guy who goes through a lot, maybe like lives in wartime or something, but he like takes care of plants. I was thinking, you know, tenderly, nice person. So I made him like a gardener. And here I have a lot of examples of asymmetry. So symmetry, you know, it's when two sides look the same. And symmetry in character design, when you have like a symmetrical character, they can look like in charge, they can look put together, posh, or whatever. Asymmetrical characters, they're like the opposite. They can look rough, or they can look like more chaotic and free. This guy, I have like a single tear on one side. I've got like different markings all over. Make him look asymmetrical, so you can tell this is like a, you know, a guy. It's not very put together. This one, posture, enemy, program. Program made me think of robot. Enemy made me think evil robot. Posture made me think, you know, tough evil robot. So yeah, with robots, you'll notice there's a lot of, they're like more literally made out of shapes than any of them. I put squares and triangles to give that sense of, you know, posture of like a big tough robot. But interestingly, this is a rare case where a circle can be intimidating rather than comforting. A single red eye for it to just like stare at what it's guarding from, or whatever. This one here, I put the least thought into. Atmosphere, bird, clique, that's like a group. Marathon, it's a bird athlete. That's what I was thinking. Not much to say about that. Not enough time to, anyway. Splurge, snail, and crime was fun. I didn't know what a splurge was, so I looked it up, and it turns out that's like spending a lot of money in a negative way. So splurge and crime? Crime boss. Someone who, like, spends a lot of money when doing crimes. You know, covered in riches that they've gained through immoral methods. So I was like, crime boss? A snail crime boss. So I had this snail covered in like jewelry, but he's got like big eyebrows. But, you know, snails don't have eyebrows, nor do they have hair. So I, you know, with these types of characters, you can like make things that just look like other things. They just have to, you know, look that way, so you get the idea. Snails don't have hair, but they have like wrinkles. So I have snail wrinkles that give the impression of hair. He's already green, so I'll just make red. Yeah, these wrinkles, they look like hair. This looks like eyebrows. And I also made him very square, because like square shape head, because this is an authoritative character covered in riches, but he's like evil and stuff. So yeah, those are all the ways you can make a character look distinct and interesting with like different words you get. Finally, the last thing I'll show you is, you know, the actual in-process of me creating a character based on 3 random words. So I think first I forgot to actually introduce the system I'm using right now for my drawing, which is Fire Alpaca. It's, you can see the name here. It's a free program for art. It's a very simple one to use as well. You can just get it off the internet, and it's got all your necessary tools, pen, eraser, and it's got your layers here, and that's all you need really. Access your colors here. But like, if you're not doing it on digital, you know, you're probably just doing it on pencil and paper, and I'm sure you know how to do that. So we'll shrink this here to bring back the random word generator, and I'll put it in the corner so that the random words are, accessible. So we'll create 3 new random words: ferry, counter, and chip. All right, so ferry is an obvious one because that makes you think of like a sailor, and counter, that's like counting, and chip. Now there's an idea. So what if it's a sailor who's in a world of like food? So this is a living chip character. So there's an obvious shape right there, which is a square. Well, this is more of a rectangle, but yeah. And that gives the impression of like an authoritative figure. And so the counter can, maybe this is like the person who like takes the money on a ferry, for example. I live on an island, so I actually have to deal with those kind of people a lot. So we'll give him like a little sailor cap. Uh little sailor cap. And so he counts money. So we'll give him like little noodle arms and circular hands, and put the money in his hand. Now then, as for the face, see, this is the kind of character that could be like, that implies greed, being, even though sometimes that's like people's jobs, but, with a character that's like taking your money, oftentimes that could be portrayed as like an intimidating figure. But you know what? I'll be nice to this guy. I'll give him big round eyes, but maybe like big eyebrows, because guys on boats, the ones on, I don't need that. The ones on like the ferry that goes to my island, they're generally quite old gentlemen. And we'll give him a big lip, but like a smile. Ooh, there's an idea. Cause I'm like, how do I give a chip man legs? I'll just give him like really high pants. Very like SpongeBob SquarePants looking. But like small legs, because him being a chip is very, that's important. It's a big thing. He's a he's a living chip man. So we'll give him like a belt, very working class belt. Blue jeans and such. Shrink this eraser. There we go. And we'll similarly give him like very working class looking shoes. So round shoes with like a little patch at the end. This is a sailor man. Spends all his days at the sea, and he probably needs a shirt. I feel like I might be getting too close to SpongeBob here. So instead of like a dress shirt, I'll give him like a regular shirt. There we go. And I'll get rid of that. And you know what? I think I'll similarly give him actual arms, thick enough arms. There, so that's our general shape. Maybe I should put something on his sailor hat. It's like a ferry. An anchor would be too basic. We'll put a fish on it. Oh my goodness! Like fish and chips! I am a genius. Alright. So next, we color this guy in. We'll go with a yellow. A delicious chippy yellow. Because, chips, they do be yellow. Make the arms yellow. Now the money will have green. And the hat, again, it's like a sea hat, so we'll make it a blue hat. And similarly, something I like to do is I like to use as few colors as possible. I think I'll go with a slightly darker blue. Yeah, I like to use as few colors as possible because too many colors can be a bit confusing. So we'll make blue pants as well. And the shoes and the belt will be brown. The shirt, I think the shirt could stay white, maybe? I realize seamen usually have jackets, so I should give him a jacket as well. Ah, there we go. That's looking way more like a man of the sea. So we'll give him an orange jacket. There we go. I think I put this on the wrong layer, but yeah. orange jacket. Now he's looking more like a fisherman. I think the white shirt is all he really needs. And then again, green is usually associated with greed, so we can give him green eyes. Now I don't know if he still looks quite like a chip guy, but yeah, there we go. Or is he looking kind of like a minion with his yellow skin and his blue trousers? But that's kind of, the colors yellow and blue go together. That's kind of why the minions are so popular and iconic. So yeah, that's how you can create a character design based on just a few words. Thank you for watching this video on character design. If you'd like to learn more from me about the animation process, you can watch the other 2 videos in the series, Part 2 on storyboards and directing, and Part 3 on animation techniques. If you'd like more art content in general, you can follow the South Tipperary Arts Centre on YouTube, Twitter, or Instagram. Goodbye!